Good morning. It's Brian again, Silver Health Quest. Hey, I got a question. Are you like me? Let me explain what I mean by that. I'm 59 years old, heading into my 60th birthday come April, and I spent a majority of my life completely out of shape. And when I mean out of shape, I'm going to post some pictures here, but I was almost 300 pounds, probably at least 40 years, close to it. I was a borderline, if not 100% alcoholic. I smoked starting when I was about 21, about the time I started drinking, and basically ignored my health up until right before my 56th birthday when things changed. We've talked about it here on the channel before, and we can talk about it again. But I've been thinking about this a lot lately. Are you like me? Are you out there just kind of cruising through life and thinking everything's okay, whether you're obese or an alcoholic or a smoker? I'm not talking about that, but I got to the point in my life that I was obese. I was not in good shape. I was not motivated. I was had a terrible diet. I didn't think about health at all. And then it got me. For those that know my story, I was driving to work one morning and I passed out on the freeway, crossed over the median, bounced off the retaining wall, went across 4 lanes and ended up in a small creek wrapped around a tree. That was the day things changed. That was March 18th of 2022. I was 55 years old. And that day, a few things happened. Number one, I understood completely that I was mortal. I smoked my last 2 cigarettes waiting for the cops and the ambulance to show up. I found out that I had abused my body to a point where I had one working artery in my heart and it had a 98% blockage. I know that sounds miraculous that I'm even here, and I guess it is, but they put a stent in. They said, hey, there's nothing we can do about the rest of it, and let's hope we don't see you again. It's crazy thinking back on it. Coming up on 4 years. And I've struggled. Again, I need to get my records from the hospital. Maybe I'll try to do that today. But I remember 288 pounds for some reason. And today, as I sit here talking to you, I'm under 230 pounds. I was joking with my wife last week that we've been married since April of 23 or 93. So coming up on 23 years, and she's never seen me under 230 pounds. Ever. So back to my original question. Are you like me? Now, if you are, and you're watching this video, it's probably because you're trying to make changes. So let me just share what I did and what I tried and what worked and what didn't work, and maybe it can help you. If you have questions, fire them off below. I'd be happy to ask. Because the reason I do this, the reason I go on YouTube, the reason I'm publishing this Health Quest is that hopefully somebody sees this before they get to the point that I was at. That's really my goal. Don't ever get where I was at. So as I was saying, don't ever get like me. Don't ever take it for granted. So what did I try? Well, in that first 30 days after the surgery and I was at home, um, I actually didn't change very many things right away. Uh, I was eating a gallon of ice cream every 2 days, feeling sorry for myself. And then one night, for some reason, I'm looking through YouTube, and I got to be honest with you, I never watched YouTube prior to the heart attack. But I got on YouTube. I didn't even have an account. And I looked up something according to type 2 diabetes or something. And I came across a video by Dr. Robert Lustig talking about sugar and what sugar does to the body. And I watched that. And then I watched another one of his videos. And then I watched something else, and I came across the Dr. Berg. And I think that was the first time I heard a ketogenic diet. Then I found eventually Dr. Berry. And then I found Joe and Rachel, Two Crazy Ketos. And over the next, so let's say the middle of April to the middle of May of 22, I was researching diets and learning about sugar and what it does to the body, and I had started to wean myself off sugar. I was still doing carbs, but eventually I found Dr. Bosworth, and I started my version of a ketogenic lifestyle. I cut the carbs, no bread, no pasta, no potatoes. Now, to be fair, I had done a version of that back in 2016 when I was first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. But I did sweet potatoes. And again, I never went on YouTube. My doctor just said, cut out the carbs. My doctor at the time literally told me, he says, just, you know what, if you're out and about, because I'm in sales, I'm on the road a lot, instead of going to McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's, go to Taco Bell and get their protein menu items, protein wrapped and salads. And so I did. And I was still using regular mayonnaise and dressings and making salads with tuna fish in them. And I lost some weight initially, but then, to be honest with you, the alcohol got better of me, and I started drinking again, and the neuropathy in my feet got worse and worse and worse, and then it eventually led to where it led. But when I found keto, I thought that was going to be the answer, and from everything I can find, I've mentioned this before, but I didn't even have a scale. So I bought a smart scale, cheap one off Amazon. And I think my records go back as far as like June or July of 22, maybe 23. It wasn't right away that I got a scale. But like I said, I do remember being 288 in the hospital, and I started losing weight. And I'm going to fast forward a little bit. One of the side effects of the heart attack is when you pass out when you're driving. Turns out, believe it or not, here in the state of Michigan, they don't want you to drive. So they took my driver's license away. So for 6 months, I wasn't able to drive. And my wife had to take me everywhere. And so that really hurt my work possibilities. And I finally got my driver's license back in October. Went back to work. And I eventually I think at the end of 2022, I would have been about 265 to 270 pounds, somewhere in that range. And then I started to go down, and I'll never forget. I got under 260, I think in April of 23. Then I got down to 250, and in October of 2023, I got on the scale one morning and I weighed 239 pounds. And that was the first time I'd been under 240 pounds in, God, I have no idea. And I was so excited. And I was doing basically carnivore keto, eating a lot of steak and bacon and high fat. And now I wasn't tracking calories or anything like that at that time. And but I started to. And I mean, it was not out of the ordinary to eat 3,000, 3,500 calories, and I wasn't doing any working out. But cutting the carbs had got my blood sugar down. My blood sugar was hanging around about 5.6, 5.7, 5.8, that area. Doctor was happy. Now I was still taking metformin. For a while, I took glipizide, and my blood sugars crashed when I went keto on that. And that's a terrible drug. If you're taking it, stop. Talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor, but if you go low carb, you don't need glipizide. But anyways, I unfortunately started gaining weight, and I'll try to post the numbers because I do have the records from that time. But I started to slowly creep up, and I got up to 240, 45, and back up to 250. And eventually in October of 24 or 23, I was back up over 260 pounds. And I was still keto. I was eating less than 20 carbs a day. And I don't drink soda. I have a pretty clean diet, and I found a group online, watching a podcast I like, and he's a pretty famous, well, I'll say it, Vinnie Tortorich, and I joined his group, and his program is all about no sugar, no grains, no carbs. And SNG, no sugar, no grains. And I mean, I had been utilizing stevia, monk fruit, artificial flavorings, using keto chow, meal replacement shakes. Had bought a Ninja Creamy and used them to turn them into ice cream, which are just phenomenally good and good for you. My blood sugar had stabilized. I wasn't having any spikes. My ranges were right there. Never went over 120 to 130, but I never went below 95. So I was in that 100 to 130 range. And I watched Dr. Boz every week. Love her channel, read her books, tried intermittent fasting, and the weight just kept going up. And I tapped out a little over 265 pounds again. And, you know, as part of the NSNG group, there's weekly or bi-weekly call-ins, and everybody's losing all this weight, and not me. I was classified as a slow loser, or a hard loser. But it's accurate. I didn't take it negatively. It was accurate. But then Dr. Boz made a video. I want to go back just a minute. I was well immersed in the ketogenic community for 2 years, almost 3. 2 years at that point. And all of the talk about GLP-1s was negative. These things are horrible. Nobody knows what they're going to do. And I adopted that framework. I was trying to do more keto. I was trying to be more carnivore. And I really was carnivore except for jalapeno poppers. Thanks, Joe. Joe from Two Crazy Ketos turned me on to jalapeno poppers, and I love them. And I still do to this day. But, I mean, literally, I would eat asparagus soaked in butter, smoked on my grill, and jalapeno poppers and keto chow. But then when I joined NSNG, I gave up all artificial sweeteners. No sparkling water ice with any flavors in it. I cut out creamer in my coffee. Went to heavy whipping cream, and I was using the skinny syrups. I got rid of those. No sugar, whether it was artificial or natural or anything. And I did that for a year. And, well, I shouldn't say that. I did it from October of 24 until May of 25. And nothing changed. No weight loss. Hardly at all. Then Dr. Boz. She did a video last spring talking about how she was putting her clients on a low dose of tirzepatide. And she explained GLP-1s in a way that I had never had them explained. And it made sense. See, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I understand what the call is all about. And, people talk about food noise. I had alcohol noise. I thought about alcohol all day. I never drank at work. I never drank when I had things to do. I didn't drink and drive. But when my clock was over, when I was no longer with a client, when I was no longer responsible to be somewhere, I drank. And I drank until I passed out. I did the same thing with smoking. And I did that with food. And she explained it the way the brain just thinks about food all day. And how a very low microdose of tirzepatide can shut down the food noise, and the ketogenic diet can really take control. But at the time, I didn't have the money. I had insurance again, which we won't get into, but for a while I didn't have insurance. Excuse me. And I went online and I found an online telehealth company. And about the same time, I found Christopher and Lorraine at the Downsized. And had started watching their videos. And it was when the whole thing was going down with, the shortages, and it was a little after that, but there was all this negative about telehealth and mochi and this and that, and I got scared, and I ended up going with another company, and I ordered semaglutide because they didn't sell tirzepatide, and it was cheaper. And I ordered it, and I got it, and on May 5th of 2025, I took my first injection, the lowest dose of semaglutide, and I can tell you immediately, I could feel the difference. I didn't want to eat. It was amazing. And I had braced myself for the side effects, but I didn't have any. And it just happened that I had a regular checkup with my doctor 2 weeks later. And I had taken 2 shots. and I had ordered another vial by mistake. So I had 2 vials of the starter shot and then the next shot up. And I told her about it. And my doctor said, you know, that's not a bad idea, Brian. You've got a history of type 2 diabetes. At the time, my A1C had been creeping up too. Even on low carb, even on keto, my A1C had gone from 5.6, 5.7, which borderline pre-diabetic, to 6.3 in May when we got the blood done. And she said, okay, we're going to put you on Mounjaro. We submitted it to my insurance and they covered it. And with the Mounjaro ticket, I had paid for the semaglutide out of pocket out of my HSA account, and but now it was covered. So I started taking Mounjaro. I actually wasted about a half a vial of the semaglutide because I was excited to switch over because everybody talked about how much greater the results were with tirzepatide. And when I took my first shot of semaglutide, I was 256.8 pounds, 256.1, I think, something like that. And I started losing weight to where eventually I got down in September. I think I was at 240-ish, 245-ish, somewhere in that range. I'll post it. I've got my chart. But then I kind of stalled again. And then I jumped on the internet again, and I found Grok. Now, I'm not saying Grok is better than ChatGPT or anything, but I downloaded the app. I use it. It's easy for me to use. I understand it. Fine. And I started putting in my readings from the Smart Scale, which I got a new GE Smart Scale. It's the same thing as the Human Body Pod. The software looks identical, but it was a third of the price on Amazon. And I started putting in my numbers from my scans, my full body scan with the little handlebar things. And I asked Grok, you know, what should I do diet-wise? And I'll be damned if that damn artificial intelligence spit back and said, boy, you're not eating any carbs. What the heck is all this low carb business? No, I'm paraphrasing. But I tried everything else on my own and nothing. I mean, it worked. But again, I was stuck. And everybody's talking about, you know, they lost, you know, 2 pounds a week and 1.5 pounds a week. And here I am, you know, by the first part of December, I was 7 months in on these shots, and I was only down 25 pounds. You know, which is great. I mean, I was down in the low 240s, but I was stuck, and it wasn't moving. And so I'm like, what the heck? And I started following the plan that Grok laid out for me. And it included increasing my calories from about 1,700 a day when I was doing the strict keto thing, because, I mean, I could be really full on 1,700 calories of mostly meat because it's nutrient dense. And I'm still protein forward, but I'm increasing my protein through using protein shakes and protein bars, and bumped up my protein to 160 to 180 grams a day. But I also bumped up the carbs. Now, I'm eating almost exclusively whole, real food. I will sprinkle in some low carb wraps every once in a while just as a vehicle to make a sandwich type thing. I still don't eat bread. I'll have some potatoes. I'll have some sweet potatoes and carrots. But mostly if if I'm making a stew or something like that. I don't eat French fries. If I fry food, it's just fried eggs and butter. Yeah, but I don't deep fry anything. I use my air fryer a lot, but mostly whole foods, beef, chicken. Um, I will use canned chicken. I do like sardines. Dr. Boz, thanks. I mix it up with my tuna fish, um, and I'm eating a lot more salad and a lot more crunchies, celery and carrots and things like that in my salads. Coleslaw mix, love that. Um, but I'm not really cutting out anything except the bread, maybe. And I'll be damned if I didn't start losing weight. As I said, I'm under 230 pounds for the first time ever. Since December 12th or 9th that I started using Grok. Yeah. The lowest weight I've recorded was a week ago Thursday, 227.9 pounds. This morning I was 229.2. Okay. So that's where I'm at. So again, back to my original question. Are you like me? Are you looking for answers? Are you trying to lose the weight? Now, because I am a type 2 diabetic, maybe that's why the shots don't work as well. I don't know. I'd like to know some research why. I mean, everybody says that, but I don't know why. If you know why, let me know. Because I haven't found it yet. They just say that type 2 diabetics seem to lose weight slower. Okay, but why? So, anyways, that's where I'm at. So here we are on January 13th, 2026. Again, my stated goal is to get to 199 pounds by my 60th birthday on April 16th of 2026. Counting down on the big board up there, 93 days that we've got left till my birthday. So if we do some quick math, 93 days, we have to lose 30 pounds divided by 93. Seems like a lot. 0.32 pounds per day. Times 7, 2.25 pounds per week. Not crazy, but it's going to be difficult. But you know what? If I end up at 205, am I going to freak out? Hell no. Again, I'm going to post these pictures that I have where I think I was pushing 300. I don't know for sure, but I think I was. So, anyone's a good one. And I've said it for years, and my kids get pissed when they hear me say it. But, I'm going to tell you, part of something's better than all or nothing. So I'm going to take whatever I get. So I guess that's it. I just wanted to get this off my chest. Are you like me? Are you heading into your silver years with uncertainty, with health challenges? I'll share it in the next video, but I'm still having some health challenges. I'm dealing with some arterial flutter and AFib. Had a 3-day visit in the hospital in September because of it, and I had another 3-day visit 2 weeks ago because of it. But my blood pressure is 106/65 this morning. Going back to the cardiologist next week because of this last visit, but I mean, the cardiology, they keep telling me my heart's strong. It shouldn't be, but it is. We've got some electrical issues, which my father has, my brother has, haven't had an ablation yet, but both my dad and my brother have. So it runs in the family. So, anyways, we'll get into that later. But so my name is Brian Doyle. I'm going to be 60 in April. And I'm already in the best shape of my adult life. This morning I got on the treadmill and took 5-minute intervals of walking, doing dead hangs, which, by the way, oh my God, that hurts like hell. But 1 minute at a time, I'll get there. Can't raise my feet off the ground, but we'll get there. Sitting down, I'm trying to stretch my body out. I want to get to a point where I can be limber enough to do Asian squats. I'm working on that, holding it in place with a pole for a minute at a time, and then getting back on the treadmill for 5 minutes, and then going and sitting and stretching my hammies for 5 minutes, and then on the treadmill for 5 minutes. I'm doing the sauna at least 3 to 4 days a week, and I feel good. But if you're like me, my father will be 83 years old in April. So if I can live as long as he has, that means I got 23, 24 years left. I don't want him to be like my years from 50 to 55. So I'm going to wrap this up. This is where we're at. This is what we're doing. If you want to join me on this quest, I'd appreciate it. I'd like to get this message out to as many people as possible. So if you like this, if you could subscribe to the channel and help me get out the message to more people, that'd be great. If you want to leave a comment below, that helps. But I'm going to keep checking in, and we're going to get there one way or another. So this is Brian. I'm signing off. Have a great day.